I'm Jacob Sjostrom. I'm the father of Chet, and this is his brother.
Owen Sjostrom. I'm Lindsay Sjostrom, and this is Chet Sjostrom.
Does your daddy drive tractor?
What?
Does your daddy drive tractor? Yeah.
So Chet was diagnosed in the third week of October, I think the 24th, and what happened was I had taken his brother to school in the morning, and Chet had a fever, so I told Lindsay that Chet's gonna stay home today, and I left with Owen, and I think Lindsay maybe called me or texted me like around 9 o'clock in the morning or something, and was like, Chet has a swollen cheek. Like, did you see that? And I said, no, nothing that I noticed. And so then she said, well, I'm going to take him in. And usually we're more reluctant to not take him in unless it's pretty serious, but I wasn't going to fight her on it, and I had enough stuff going on that day.
Yeah, so we thought maybe it was a bug bite and just because of the swollen cheek, and he did have a history of recent canker sores. So we kind of told them about that, and they did some lab work and were testing for some bacterias, and there were some markers that were concerning, and so they decided they were going to send us to Children's. And Chet and I took an ambulance ride to Children's. About 24 hours later, he was diagnosed with BALL leukemia, which is also known as B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And we spent a full week in the hospital, just kind of getting a game plan down, starting treatments. They were also very worried about what was going on with his cheek because they don't know that it was ever really related, other than later on we assume it was leukemia sores inside his mouth. Started first round of chemo and steroids and treatment while we were there, and then the rest we've been doing outpatient. So the first month we were doing 2 days a week at Children's, and currently this month we are doing 1 day a week at Children's. So him and I and some family members have been going to those appointments so far, and we were finally able to get results after the first month, and he has tested into the favorable category. So we really have best case scenario news for this type of situation that we're in. The last month when he was on steroids, it really kind of affected him, and he spent a lot of time honestly eating, but also just resting, and he didn't do much else other than that. Now we are officially off of those steroids, at least for right now, and he's getting his old self back. And sometimes it's crazy, but it's really nice to see it. So yeah, he's doing really well. Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, emotional wise, like, we probably had like a 48-hour roller coaster where we were sitting in the ER at Children's, and basically, your sister was there, and we thought, like, we'll be out of here as soon as we can get prescribed our stuff and get going, you know. And then 15 hours later, our main leukemia doctor comes in and tells us that our life will be changed forever, and that was like,
It's just hard to hear.
yeah. And like, amidst everything else that we, like most people, you know, you obviously have your regular life going on, you're like, oh crap, like, that's not gonna happen today, and that's not gonna happen tomorrow, and that's not gonna.
You never think anything like this would happen to your family. So we actually have a really good friend who stayed at our house with Owen, which was extremely helpful because we didn't want to change his schedule as much as possible just because we didn't know what was happening. So she stayed there with him, and it was really hard to see him. Honestly, when he came to the hospital, that was one of the hardest because he didn't understand. He still doesn't understand. And that's been one of the toughest parts, honestly, is he doesn't understand why Chet is with us, or we have a doctor's appointments and Chet can't be at daycare, and he misses him a lot. He sees him getting extra attention, and it's just really hard. So we try to give him extra attention and just not change his schedule as much as we can. But it's hard because no one understands, and no one doesn't understand, and I think he just feels a little left behind. Yeah. But yeah.